Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome to this class, #JustMove. Because if you're doing this class or if you've done the beginner track, this is the 30-minute Just Move class where I'm going to put in just an array of exercises that you have done in the beginner track. Or you might be just doing this as a Just Move 30-minute class. However you're doing it, just enjoy it. You're going to just move with me today for 30 minutes. Let's get started. So let's stand with the feet together, the thighs together. Turn out your toes, turn out your heels. The feet are just hip width apart. Have slight softness into the knees. So a little bit of flexion into the knees, hands down by the side, lengthen out through the spine. We're going to take a beautiful inhale, full and wide into the back and the base of the ribs. And as you exhale, we're going to start to peel down. So we're going to start with our roll down. We're just going to peel all the way down just to go where you feel comfortable. And for instance, today I feel a little bit stiff from what I did yesterday into my hamstring. So maybe I might not go a little bit further than I might do normally. Every day is different. Work with how you're feeling today. Inhale, exhale, peel back up. Again, listen to your body the whole time and work with what you have. Inhale again, brilliant. Exhale, start to peel it down. And if you have done the beginner track and you're doing this class, you are now free to go. Freedom. Inhale, exhale, and peel back up into all those 30-minute classes where every class is different. Let's do one more. Inhale, exhale, peel it down. Scooping out the tummy, lengthening through. Inhaling at the bottom, exhaling and restacking through the spine. For this Just Move class, I've purposely not used weights. Bring the arms forward into the corkscrew. Take the hands behind the head. Brilliant. Inhale and draw the shoulders up. Exhale and release it down. Fantastic. Inhale, take the elbows back. Bring the elbows forward and bring the arms all the way down. So again, remember this exercise, bring the arms forward. We're just looking at that shoulder alignment. Take the hands behind. Inhale, draw up. Exhale, release down. Fantastic. Inhale, take the elbows back. Try not to flare in the ribs. Keep the ribs silent. Bring those arms down. Some of you are like, oh, yep, I was flaring. Inhale, exhale, float up again. See, I'm uncanny. I can look through the lens and I'm looking how you're doing this, whether it be the laptop or on your TV, and like, yes, you. And then take the elbows back. Bring the elbows forward. Bring the arms all the way down. Now, as you do that, I want you to turn the palms. Let's do it. And what we're going to do, we're going to bend through the knees. We're going to raise those arms up. We're going to start with those little tricep presses. So we're gently just going to pump those arms up. Brilliant. Now I'm just doing that little bit of a warm up with those roll downs and with those corkscrews. But if you want a little bit more of a warm up, then you go to that warm up, tiny little class, and you just lift, lift, lift. So again, this is just a little soupçon, a little indicator of how I teach the classes. You just gently pump those arms up. We're working the triceps, the back of the arms. You're doing 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You turn those palms to face one another. You keep those arms straight and strong, and you raise those arms up. The little fingers lead the move. Again, we're working the back of the arm into those triceps that make up 2/3 of the arm. Give the upper arm that beautiful definition. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up there. You pump those arms together and we do 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down, put the hands onto the pelvis, lengthen up through the spine. Neutral pelvis, refer to the alignment class all the time if you need to. Take that right leg out to the side and lengthen through. Inhale, and as you exhale, raise that right leg up and lower down. Try not to lift into that left side, but lift off this support leg. Again, we always place the emphasis on the moving part, but actually it's the stabilizing part that is more important. So what I really want you to think about is the non-moving leg. You have the weight through the base of the big toe, the little toe, the base of the heel. We're lengthening up through the ankle, a little bit of tone into that left glute. But of course, we're going to feel this into that right thigh because we're lifting it. We are isometrically moving it, which means it's a moving part. We're going to hold that leg up there and you're going to do tiny repeaters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you release down. Fantastic. Take the weight into the right leg, left leg lengthens through. Lengthen up out through the crown of the head, those ribs closing down. Think of your skeleton the whole time lifting. It's skeleton alignment. If the skeleton is in correct alignment, the muscles wrap around the skeleton. They're cylindrical, so the muscles will be working well. And then the fascia, all the connective tissues within the muscles and on top of the muscles again is going to work well. But again, if your roots are well, if your roots are good, everything else is going to grow from that correctly. And again, lifting and low. So there I want to talk about water as well. Water, very, very important as well. The body is 78% water. We need to make sure that we have that within our body. So again, everything is nice and fluid. The way that we move is very much like water. We want to ebb and we want to flow. We don't want to be disjointed. We don't want it's when you pull something because there's not that beautiful flow into it. We're going to do 4 more. And we're going to do 3. We're going to do 2. I'm talking probably a little bit more than I would do normally, or am I? I'm probably not. You're going to hold it up there. No. Do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to release it down. I'm going to come into a plie, and then we're going to flow on the floor into a plie. Here, press through those heels. Inhale and exhale up. Again, you've got 2 opposing forces here. The knees are bending, the movement is down, but the spine is long. Check with your knees. Your knees go towards and track your second toes. You want to feel the length through the inside thighs. You want to feel the tone into the buttocks. Muscles work in pairs. As one muscle relaxes, the other really gets into a contraction. It works. So here, we're lengthening the inside thighs and we're getting the work into the bottom. Do 4 more and up. Brilliant. 3. So I'm not going to spend too much on one particular exercise. I'm just going to flow. We're just going to move today. 2 more. 1. And we're going to hold it down there. Tiny repeaters. You got 10, 9, on 8, on 7, on 6, on 5, 4, 3, 2, let's hold down there. And we're going to inhale and raise that right arm up. Stretch through the waist and pull down. Inhale with the left and over and back. We're trying to find length within the joint complexes. You don't want to crowd the joints. We want space within the joints. Here we're opening up the ribs by stretching the muscles that surround the ribs, those intercostal muscles. Again, so we find length the whole time. Always liking this when you buy ribs from the butchers or you buy them, in the packs. No one wants a skinny rib. We want the meat, don't we? So that's what we want here. We want to open up. We want to really create space between the ribs as we do this. And we've got 1 more. And the reason why we open up, we do lateral flexion in this way is to find length into the waist so we can work the waist, hone and tone. Walk those feet in, stand at the end of your mat. Take a beautiful inhale, full and wide, feet just hip width apart. My voice is going very, very rhythmical. Inhale, exhale, start to peel it down. Scooping out the tummy, lengthening through. Bend the knees if you need to. And we're going to walk the hands forward into a plank position. But if you don't like a plank, put the knees down. Again, listen to your body. If we're in that plank position, engage the center. So I'm just adjusting myself because I'm popping out and showing flesh. Hold it there. And then that wasn't part of the exercise. And then go back into your A. Sometimes when I'm doing a class and I put my hand or I put my hair behind my ears, people do it, they copy me. And I'm like, no, that's not the exercise. Inhale, come back into that plank position again. So I'm just going to adjust myself. And then, there we go. So hold that plank or 4-point kneeling. And you're going to exhale, go back into your A. Hold it there. Inhale, come back into your plank or your 4-point kneeling. Go back into your rest or your A. And then from there, come back into your plank position. Lengthen, adjust. The weight is through your heels. On your plank, make sure that your bottom isn't lifted. You're not sunk down. You are in that plank position. And then bring the knees down. Take that rest position, bottom onto the heels and lengthen. So here with this rest position is lovely for just stretching out through the back. You're going to come up onto all fours. So we're just going to come into that 4-point kneeling position. From here, I want you to extend that right leg, tuck the toes, find the tone into the right bottom, and you're going to raise and you're going to lower. Now, when I did this in the beginner track, just make sure that you're not moving in your lower back. You're finding the tone into your bottom. You're drawing the navel back towards the spine, engaging your center. You raise and you lower, and raise and lower. So always lift with intent and lower with intent. You're in control of this extremity. You are working with a long lever here as you lift and lower. You've got 4 more, and down, 3, down, last 2, 2, and down, last 1. Hold it up there. Do tiny little repeaters. Keep pulling the tummy in. Ribs closing down, shoulders away from the ears. You've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. We're going into the fire hydrant. From here, we're going to lift and you're going to lower. So this is going to kick into the waist, into the outside of the thigh, pulling the navel back towards the spine. Again, this just move, half an hour, is a little taster of some of the exercises. Every single exercise or every single 30-minute class is completely different. There is inventive choreography. There is movement with the small apparatus. So again, just enjoy the array of classes on offer. 2 more on 1. And then at the top end again, we hold and we do tiny little repeaters. Be aware here that you're not listing away. You're pushing into that tripod of strength, the hands and that shin that is on the floor. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it down. Bottom onto the heels. Let's get straight into it. Why not? Extend that left leg. Inhale, exhale, raise and lower. And again, place and lower. Brilliant. And place and lower. Pull the tummy in, lengthen and lower. So again, always question, where should you be feeling it? So again, people should always give you the objective of the move. Here, you want to feel this into your bottom and into the back of the thigh, the hamstring. So again, question that. Adjust accordingly. It might be that you need to maybe lift up a little bit more or lift a little bit less, but just listen to your body. 3 more. 3 and down. 2 and down. Whilst you're there, keep pulling the tummy in. Again, refer back to the alignment class. Draw the navel back towards the spine. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. We're nearly halfway. We lift it. You're doing brilliant. See how quickly these lessons go. As soon as you're in the class, you're with me. We're doing this together. We're willing each other on. More importantly, we're just enjoying it. It's so lovely when you feel the movement and you can feel, and then mentally you feel better. But equally, then you get the physical gains. Because sometimes, if it's a physical thing, we've got to have those mental gains as well. It's all hand in hand. As soon as you start moving, the endorphins start, the happy hormone. You just feel better. Do 4 more. And I say that very loosely with some of the cardio classes. 3 and 2. When we're sweating away, hold it up there. Tiny repeaters. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release it down. Bottom onto those heels. I'm just going to move a little bit back and let's move into your cat. A little bit into extension now. So inhale. And as you exhale, just go into a little bit of extension. And then you tuck the chin, because again, we want to move the body how it's meant to. The spine moves in flexion, it moves in extension, it moves in rotation, It moves in circumduction. So we need to make sure, as the saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that is true. We need to make sure that we're moving the body in every way that it should. So we are really wholly round. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Excellent. And then come back, doing so well. Bottom onto those heels. Okay, we're going to come round onto your side now. It's like we're popping everything in. It's like everything in the kitchen sink. So come round. I just wanted to give you all that little taster of everything. I want you to bend that bottom leg. I want you to extend that top leg. With your skull, with your head, you can either hold your hand in this position or grab a cushion, put it underneath. It's entirely up to you. I quite like to have a little cushion myself just by bending my elbow. Lengthen out through the spine. Now, the key here, again, is to make sure that we're not ruffling the waist. As you lift that leg up, your waist maintains. It's always really nice sometimes when I see people with they have stripy tops on, and it's really great because then you can sort of like see there's the stripy tops coming up. What I don't want to see as I'm looking through the lens to you, I don't want any ruffling through here. Equally, when we're sideline, we tend to sometimes lose that alignment and we tend to pop in the ribs. The ribs gently knit down towards the top of the pelvis. They're kissing the top of the pelvis. You lift it and you lower it. Now, you will see some people, again, some people can get a little bit sort of like over-excited and they'll lift that leg up. Now, that isn't wrong, but it's not the purpose of what we want for this particular exercise, because when you lift that leg up really high, look what happens to my waist. It contracts greatly. I don't want that to happen. I want that waist to be nice and long. So what this is mimicking is what we did at the start, lifting and lowering that leg, keeping the waist just nice and long as you lift and as you lower. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes a metaphor for life, less is more. And certainly for this exercise, less is more. You should start to feel this, and I defy anyone that doesn't, into the outside of the glute, that glute med stabilizer of the pelvis. It slims the buttock down. It's a dancer's dimple, but it is a great stabilizer for the pelvis. It brings the pelvis back into alignment. Tiny little repeaters. If ever you've gone to physios, osteopaths, they tell you have a leg length discrepancy. If you have lower back issues, generally, glute med needs to be worked a little bit more than it is generally. The majority of us have weak glutes. The glutes are the seat to everything, as well as your core muscles, but they are part of your core. And I find in my experience in this industry, glutes always need to be stronger than they generally are, because as we get older, we lose muscle mass and our glutes get a little bit soggy. You hold it there. And you can see, and as you see the older generation, from not that I want to think about this, but they have saggier bottoms, and that's what happens. We need to keep that glute strength up. Do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Start to circle that leg backwards. Can you feel that into your buttocks? You're just gently circling. Now, again, when you do that, what you're not doing is this, because that is doing absolutely nothing, because you're moving the pelvis with the femur, the thigh bone. You just want the femur, the thigh bone to be rotated within the pelvis. So the pelvis maintains silence as you do that. Underneath an X-ray, you would just be seeing the femur, the thigh bone being rotated round. How are you stopping the pelvis from moving? Engaging your center. Do 2 more. Ooh, do 1 more. And then got to do the signature juji, my staple. You extend that bottom leg. And then you lift up that bottom leg and you just juji those legs. So from here, again, you want to now, you're lifting the legs from the contraction of the waist. So now we do want to pick up the top of the pelvis to the last rib. So we're not here, there. We're really just lifting up, finding that contraction. And we're going to do 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. We are 2/3 of the way through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it. Absolutely brilliant. So let's go on to the opposite side. And you can feel that. It's like we got to go on the opposite side. So coming down onto the side, again, bottom leg is bent, and use the front of your shin to the front of your mat so it's lying in that alignment. It's just a nice sort of like alignment. Otherwise, you don't really know where it is. But just have the shin just running at the front of your mat, or if you've got a carpet or something, or just something sort of like to determine that 90-90. And then lengthen that top leg again away and lift and lower down. Lifting and lowering. Brilliant. Lifting and low. So again, almost, press that top hip away from you. So sometimes when I'm with one-to-ones, I'll be on the pelvis and I'll be pulling the top of the pelvis away to keep that length. So you can tactilely do that by pushing the heel of the hand away from you. So it's almost like, because otherwise what's happening, your bottom of your waist is like sunk down here. So just going to quickly show you'll be like that. Your ribs will be there. You want to make sure that you want equal length through both sides of the waist. So when you're on your side, push that leg away. Again, sometimes, if you're in a class situation, it gets competitive and it's like, oh, who's got the leg the highest? It never is about that. And that's what's lovely about working out from home. You're only in competition with yourself. And you should only be anyway in life. It's only you, yourself, that matters and your own opinion of yourself. Everyone will always have opinion. But it's always just, it should just be you, and you should just have the best opinion of yourself the whole time. That's very difficult because we listen to that little naughty inner voice. I know we all do. I certainly do. But that's all that matters, because like I said, everyone else will have an opinion. And then never you. And do 4 more, lifting. Ooh, getting a little bit philosophical there. On 2, and then hold it there. And again, tiny little repeaters again. Lifting, 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 lifting. And you're going to do 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. And again, circle that leg backwards. So when you also circle that leg backwards, you're also working a little bit of a stretch into the hip flexor. Again, I've talked about this in previous classes where the hip flexor, it flexes the hip, and it can be very tight in the Western world because we sit on chairs a lot more, we're a lot more sedentary. So the hip flexor generally in evolution has become tighter. So we need to make sure when you're doing this, again, it says antagonistic muscles, as the hip flexor releases, the bottom engages. So again, by working the bottom, you release that front line. In general, when you look in the mirror, what I call the front line of the body is generally quite tight because we're forward-moving creatures. In times of anxiety, we tend to go into that fetal position. So that front line is usually offset. It's too strong. The back line is too weak. So a lot of the classes, we will be addressing this as well. And then just from there, extend that bottom leg. And again, Gigi. But again, as I always say, variety is the spice of life. You've got to just work the body as a whole in a different way so that it just keeps guessing. And we need to work with our own body weight. We need to work with weights. We need to work with small equipment, because the more muscle mass we have, the more metabolically active we are, the more calories we burn in a sedentary position. It's a win-win situation, but we can gain that muscle mass by weights, by our own body weight. But equally, what is important is that flexibility, maintenance as well. And do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it down. Absolutely fantastic. Let's turn onto the back. We are on the straight home. Okay, I'll come up for air in a minute too. So I'm just very aware in this, and breathe. Very important to breathe. The most important thing. So we're going to just go onto your back now. Again, hands down by the side. Let's just do a beautiful spine curl. Again, a spine curl is mobility of the spine, lengthening, finding length within the spine. But again, work from that neutral position. What is neutral? Those bony protrusions at the front of the pelvis, heel of the hand, fingertips towards the pubic bone, you start in neutral. But then on your spine curl, you do imprint, so the pubic bone will go higher, the water in the belly button runs up through the throat, and you start to peel the spine up. Keep the hands down by the side, press through the feet, inhale, exhale, peel it down. This is a really lovely one to do at the end of the day as well, because from when we get up in the morning to when we go into bed at night, we're contraction through the spine because we are upright. So all the vertebra of the spine, compounds down, inhale, exhale. This lengthens you out. Again, it finds length and space within the vertebra of the spine. Let's do one more. Peel it up, scooping out the tummy, lengthening through. Inhaling, exhaling, peeling it down. Let's do those lovely bridges. So what we're going to do, we're going to raise up into a bridge and you're going to lower down. When you do the bridge, be mindful that you are not lifting too high and the ribs are not popping. So again, you want to think of where you should be feeling it. Where should you be feeling it? The bottom and the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. Press down into the floor. So we're going to do 4 more. We're going to do 4. And we're going to do 3. I hope you're feeling as good as I do. It's really nice just doing, again, full body classes so you just feel honed and toned. You know, nothing, everything we're working that should be working in the correct way. Hold it up there, do those tiny little repeaters. And we've got 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Superb. Keep up there if you can. Put the bottom down if you need to. Put the heels together. The heels are together, the toes apart. So what we've done, we've changed how the femur, the thigh bone, comes out of the pelvis, so the muscles of the glutes are working differently. And then we lift and we lower. Again, the bottom has 3 separate muscles to it. We need to make sure that we work all of those muscles. So we work with a well-rounded muscle group. And again, lifting. Because if one of those muscles was particularly strong, we have an imbalance in anything, an imbalance in life, an imbalance within our body. We don't want. We want to be very balanced. And that, again, metaphor for life, be very balanced in our outlook, be very balanced in our life, be very balanced within our body. We lift and we lower. And again, we lift. Let's do 3 more. Arms 3. And down. Brilliant. 2 and down. Hold it up there now. Tiny repeaters. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up there. Feet together, thighs together. Glue those inside thighs together. We lift, we lower, we lift, we lower. We draw the navel in all the time. And as we do this, so within every single lesson, we are working our core. Your core is kicking in the whole time, your abdominals. Yes, I will be specific on abdominal classes. But again, you can't really pinpoint sort of like one particular muscle, but the whole time within those 30-minute classes, we are mindful of working the core 4 more. So even though I might be doing in the 20-minute classes a bottom blast, we're still working our core because we have to. 4 more. On. 3. On. We're going to do 2. Can you feel that on the inside thighs as well? We're going to do tiny repeaters. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it down. Absolutely superb. Feet together, thighs together. Hands out to the side. Last exercise, hip roll. You're going to go inhaling over to the right. And you're going to exhale and you're going to draw back. And again, you're going to go over to the left, inhaling and exhaling, drawing back. I'm also really conscious of when my top rides up because I literally have a tan from being on the bow all the time. My body is literally, I'm brown from there down and brown sort of like from there up. I'm like the humbug. So anything in the midsection is just white and then back. I don't think if I ever go abroad, they'll be like, oh my God, what's going on there? Go over. And then draw back. It's a proper farmer's tan. And go over. And then draw back. Absolutely brilliant. Let's hug those knees into the chest now. And then let's take that left leg down. Extend that leg. You did absolutely superb. So that is just a little teaser of what a 30-minute class is, as in how long or how quick it goes. You might be thinking, oh, really dragged. So again, just the way that I teach. But like I said, every class is different. So, and that is the beauty, and that's the way you should keep it. You never want to know what's coming up, both mentally and physically as well, because the body's sort of like, so what's going on there? I've got to work a little bit more. It's like when you're chatting to somebody and sort of like, they're boring you and you're just like, God, you switch off. And that's the body does that. It switches off. It gets lazy and it will take the pathway of easiest resistance. So which isn't necessarily the correct pathway. And that's where our injuries happen. You've got to keep it fired up and switched on and then bend and then extend that right leg. Bring the left leg up and extend it. And again, hamstring length will vary day to day. Try to have that leg straight. If you need to put a towel around, then do so and just hold. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's always lovely when you get to the end of the class, and it really is, you just want to give yourself a pat on the back. It's like, well done, I did it. And then, because there is going to be those days when you really don't want to do it, but when you do, you get a better sense of achievement than on those days actually when you run into it and you're like, hey, I want to do it. They're the days when it really is, when you've got to dig deep and it's like, well done. And that is, again, metaphor for life again. So lengthen up through the spine, take the right ear to the right ear, and then gently drop the chin to the chest, look forward. Take the left ear to the left shoulder. You did absolutely brilliant today. Fantastic. And then chin to the chest, look forward. Absolutely brilliant. You are free to just move with me.